Sam, it's great to be with you. I'm so delighted to be able to have a conversation with you to speak about those things which bear upon what we're up to with regard to sports, with regard to identity, with regard to living the best life, living our highest life, whatever those things are going to look like, which I know you have tons of experience. So just to start, maybe give us some of your own background. Why should we listen to you anyway when it comes to things on sports? Well, D1 athlete. I mean, that's enough said.
It is true. It is true. Well, thanks for having me, Father.
Yeah.
My name is Sam Kelley, and I played Division I soccer at the University of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Which was just such a fun experience. Fun to play at that level. Definitely a dream come true. Had a reversion back to my faith in college, and that just really was just a trajectory in a very different direction than I thought my life would go.
Yeah.
I saw what was true and what was real, and I wanted to be a part of that and share that with others. Mm-hmm. And then I looked around at my team, and I was the only practicing Catholic or Christian, and so I was really driven to bring them love and to bring them truth. And that kind of sent me on a path of evangelizing them, and then eventually going on to work at the University of Texas with athletes there as kind of a spiritual coach, and leading Bible studies, things like that. And then now I run a ministry called Fierce Athlete, where I work with female athletes specifically.
So grew up around sport, competed at the highest level.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about your reversion and injury and just kind of how that plays into people's lives anyway, practically, but it's part of your own story. Then full-time missionary, laboring for students' hearts and minds and souls, now founding Fierce Athlete. Let's talk about Fierce just for a moment.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, what is Fierce? Where did it come from, and what are you up to with it?
Yeah, so our mission is to promote true identity and femininity in female athletics based on the teachings of the church, which are big words, but essentially, when you're in sport, there's so many things competing for your attention and competing to define you, whether that be the fact that you're an athlete, or that be your parents' expectations of you, your coach's expectations, whether that be how you look, whether that be fitting in with your teammates. And the reality is that we are so much more than just those things. And so we talk about, first and foremost, our identity is as daughters of God, period. And what that means is, an athlete could go on and become, the next Olympic champion in, 100-meter hurdles, okay?
Yeah.
Amazing. Or they could sit in a chair for the rest of their life and do nothing, and God would still love them the same. Now, there's a nuance, like when we're given our athletic talent, we want to use that to the fullness of our abilities because it's a gift. But God's love for us as Father is not dependent on what we do or on anybody else's opinion. It just is. And so preaching that, giving athletes the freedom to realize that first and foremost, from there, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, so my first reflection on this is that this is exquisite and wonderful, but there's going to be a whole lot of practical things of can people really get to that place?
Sure.
Am I really more than what people say that I am, or more than what I do, or all these different things? Yeah. I would imagine that saying that one time to someone doesn't elicit that fundamental change, right? So just the practical nature of it, but gosh. Just as you're saying it, the way that you're saying it makes me relax. Yeah. I don't need to strive.
Pressure's off.
Yeah,
in the best way.
I could just relax because I'm loved. So now athletics is totally pragmatic. And now maybe it shouldn't always be totally pragmatic, but it's utilitarian and pragmatic in that let us do what needs to be done to get the thing done that we want to do, which makes total sense, but having a relationship with God, that's kind of coming out of left field. How is that utilitarian? How is that pragmatic? Now, first of all, it shouldn't be, because it should just be for its own sake, right? But in the end, it becomes practical, because now I'm free of all of these other pressures to just be me and then live from a place of freedom. I live from a place of depth, live from a place of whatever. So in the end, a relationship with God is the most eminently practical thing, is what it sounds like you're telling me.
Yeah.
So this is what Fierce is about. This is lovely. I want to dive into all this in the next. Well, so yeah, just a little teaser for what's to come. I want to talk about identity in sport. I want to talk about the different ways that we understand men and women in sport. Are they exactly the same? Should we just have one sport, human sport? Is there a difference? Should we honor that? Is there not? Whatever.
Yep.
These different things. Body image. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about shaming or identity. Those various other things. So that's where we're going to go. So
Cool.
anybody who's listening, that's where we're headed off. So let's start here though. Further with identity. I think maybe it's just true. Maybe it's just my experience. I think it's the thing at the very heart of athletics, for coaches, for athletes, for people who watch.
Yeah.
They want to identify with a winning team or whatever.
Sure.
But when people come to my office, so I work full time with athletes, they sit them down. They might be injured. They might have got cut from the team. They might have got benched. They might be struggling in the classroom. They might, whatever. The boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with them. Whatever's going on that brought them to, it's usually not something really great happened. I'll go talk to the chaplain.
Yeah.
It's like not how these conversations usually begin. 5 years later, I'll get a letter. Hey, my life has been okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. But oftentimes it comes down to identity.
Mm-hmm.
They come in and they're like, I don't know who I am. They don't say it that way, but they're like, I don't feel right.
Yep.
I don't really know what my purpose is right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing if I'm injured or if I'm cut or
Right.
or the anger that comes from being benched or whatever the thing might be. And I feel like a lot of it plays into identity. So is that what you're finding?
Oh, absolutely. It's all identity.
It's not just me?
No, it's
Okay.
all
It's all identity.
all identity.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you went through a whole gamut of struggles, and there's so many more. The athletes listening, it's like, what's that thing in your heart that you're wrestling with, or that lie you're believing, or that doubt you're having? If you can come back, and it's a journey, right? And God meets us there,
Yeah.
sometimes more clearly, maybe because we're at the bottom. And that's what happened with me. It's like knee injury, 13 months, 3 surgeries. I was told I'd never play again.
Wow.
And here I am at a Division I school, and I didn't know who I was. Like,
Yeah.
I was an athlete. That
Right.
was what I would answer. Who are you?
Right,
I'm an
right,
athlete. Like,
right.
9-time state champ in high school. Like, I was an athlete, Yeah. And
Man, I'm in the presence of royalty.
oh gosh, no, I do hold a couple records still at my high school in track, but but when we get to that point, we start trying to fill that. Well, okay, I can't do my sport, or I'm benched, with other things, whether that be trying to fit in with our teammates and maybe making some decisions, whether that's drinking or promiscuity or some things that we thought we would never do.
Yeah.
We try to find happiness there. Or we base, for me, it was so much of my coach's opinion of me. Like, if he complimented me in practice that day, I was over the moon. If he ignored me, it was like, I have no worth. And so we come to try to fill who we are with all these other things. And at the end of the day, at least for me, and I think a lot of athletes, it leaves us empty, depressed. We hide it well, because we're really good at that.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know my purpose. I thought my purpose was sport, and now I can't do that.
Right.
Or it's let me down, or I have to retire. I mean,
Right,
it's going to
right,
end
right.
at some point.
Right.
And God, again, with that, I just love you as you are, as my son or as my daughter. When you can, it's almost like you have just the openness to hear that at those points.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like when everything else isn't working, then he can meet us there.
Yeah. When a person can recognize that the one who created them delights in them simply because he or she is his creation, and he's pleased with what he has created. Like, I can just exist and be who I was made for God,
Yeah.
and just to rest in that. My gosh, that's for all of us.
Yeah.
And not just the athlete, that's for all of us, for sure.
Yeah.
My kind of place of receptivity to my identity was not through an injury. It was through being suspended for stupid activity. But still, I found myself in a place where I was smart, I was athletic, I was popular, I was all these different things, and I was like purposeless.
Yeah.
And then like what's spoken to my life, not that that's what this recording is for right now, but what's spoken to my life was the fact that because of all of the, I don't think I even knew that I was believing this, but when I received through the ministry of a retreat, the message that I was forgiven for all the bad things that I had done, that set me on a new course. Because similar to identity, it was a place of your past doesn't define you either. Mm-hmm. So identity is not just the things that I've done. It's not the things that I want to do, things I can't do, whatever it is. Not even the things that I've done, even the bad things that I've done. Those don't label me. It's like, what? There's something more than that. Something beyond that, right? So, the place of identity. Oh my gosh, it's massive. It's massive. It's massive. Yeah. And you found yourself in an injured place, and then you're just like, oh, I have to find my identity. And no, you probably weren't seeking. You didn't know. It was implicit.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and you look back at some of the circumstances of life, and you're like, oh wow, God, you were really working me hard there. You know, you were so present and really fighting for me. And for me, I met a girl that was a missionary, and she was like, why don't you join this Bible study? And I was like, I have tried everything else. I might as well. But
probably won't hurt.
Right, but the way that she loved me and challenged me, not in an aggressive way, but just in a, like, you are living joy, and it was like an interior challenge. Like, you have what I want. And it was that, almost that good competitive, like, I want fullness, drove me to follow her. And ultimately, she convinced me kind of against my will to go to a conference. So I guess it wasn't following so directly, but I had an encounter with our Lord in adoration, preceded by a much needed confession. And I would say that to whoever's listening, like that thing I said before that like keeps you up at night. Yeah. God's mercy is so real. Yeah. And I'd been sort of to confession, but I don't know if I'd had a real honest confession. Yeah. Like I just wasn't hiding anymore. I was like, no, these are the things I've done. And it was just like, and Father, the priest was just so tender with me, and I felt like, those actually don't define me. Yeah. And that gave me the openness to then encounter God. Yeah. Yeah.
So, the Creator, the one who has created me, delights in me because he has created me. And also, now adding to that, the Creator, even when I fall away from maybe what I ought to be for him, he's like, I will restore you. Yeah. I can do that because I created you. I can recreate you. I mean, this is good stuff. Yeah. This is stuff we need to hear. Let's talk for a little bit about body image. Sure. You work with women. Your ministry is focused on women. Let's talk about it. I mean, just last night, I was checking in another guest to a hotel, and the person at the desk was asking what we were up to, and I said, well, I'm getting ready for a conference to talk about how to lead people well in the realm of sport, to honor them and bring them to their full potential, and all these different things. She's like, well, I was a dancer, Division I dancer, athlete, and I had to quit because like we were being shamed left and right about our body images, even though they were saying that they weren't going to, and all these different things. She's like, I couldn't take it anymore, so you need to go talk to all my coaches. Like, okay. Yeah. This is a real topic,
Very real.
I knew that I was going to be talking to you today. So, fill me in. I mean, I don't know if guys experience it the same. So I want to hear it from you.
Sure.
For women, but maybe if it's for men as well. Yeah. To weigh in on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super interesting. Like in sport, no matter what sport. Yep. What do you use? The body. Yep. Like that is the only constant, if you will. Yep. Other sports have, Yep. Sticks, equipment, balls, exactly, right? The body, and the body, like when you come to see sport, like if you ever see somebody do something that's like just athletically amazing, they like dive and catch a ball, and you're just like, whoa! It's like the body's the art form in sport. Like it has a certain like artistic flair. Mm-hmm. But that body distortion, because you're using the body, it can so easily become distorted, and I see it kind of in a couple realms. One is that the body's just a tool, and this speaks to men. There's an NFL player who's quoted saying something along the lines of like, I viewed my body as a tool. Like I knew if I, lifted this much weight and ate these things and did this conditioning, I would get faster and stronger.
Right.
And I viewed it as something that I could manipulate.
Okay.
And he said, I never felt so disassociated from my body.
Wow.
And so it's not just a tool. Like as human beings, we're body and soul.
Yep.
Right? And one affects the other. One
Yep.
expresses the other. And so we're more than just something we can manipulate. So that is one sphere. The other is, Dove Soap did a study a number of years ago, and they do a lot of great stuff with women and body image.
Huh.
And they found that 96% of women don't think they're beautiful. Like 96%. And it's like, it's so true and real though. Like what's the last thing you said to yourself when you looked in the mirror? Oh, my hair's frizzy this morning, or whatever. There's a constant,
I said I'm
good.
I'm beautiful. Dove, I'm beautiful.
I'm beautiful. You could be the next spokesperson.
I'm getting money for it right
It's
now.
perfect. Yeah. But there is that body shame. And then you add in this sport element, and especially with sports like dance or running or certain sports that have a weight class, rowing, for example, as lightweight rowing, there can become a distorted image of the body. And coaches have to be very aware of this. And athletes can experience deep wounding from coaches. Like I have a friend who, her coach, when she was an elite runner, used to pinch her side and say, your body fat's lower than any other runner. And that can so easily become like this distorted view of, well, I have to keep my body fat down, or I have to maintain a certain weight. And again, the body becomes something that you can manipulate. And that's just such a distortion. Like the body as it is beautiful and good because God created it such.
Yeah.
And you find like the way to remedy that is to let God tell you about your body and how he delights in it. I always talk about this thing. It's one of my go-to practical things. It's called the body scan.
Yeah.
And I'd encourage athletes to do this, but essentially you start at the top of your head and you go body part by body part down your whole body. Do I like my hair? Do I like my forehead? Do I like my eyebrows? And be really honest. It's brutal. It's like, first time I did it was like 80% of my body. I'm like, oh, frizzy hair. I used to have a unibrow. Like I had a pig nose. We got made fun of when I was little. Like you just tear yourself apart.
Oh man, this sounds horrible.
It's like, oh. But, and be honest, but don't stop there. Then go before God, whether that's just sitting and picturing him in a quiet place or going into a church or going into adoration, like go before him and say, okay, Lord, do you love my hair? Do you love my forehead? Do you love my eyebrows? Like, yes, Samantha, I love your frizzy hair. Yes, I created you 6 feet tall for a reason. Yeah. And to hear him say those things, our heart, like I really believe, other people can compliment us and that does help. But he's the one that restores our self-image, that identity. And over time, like I'll do it now. It's like, okay, 20% of my body I critique, but that's a long way from 80%. And really like letting him, and this is part of that encountering God that's so important consistently to maintain that truth of identity. He can really redefine our view of the goodness of our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about just practically our strength and conditioning coaches or athletic trainers. That's their job is sort of, so I want to make a distinction in a way. Their job is to curate the body. Mm-hmm. So in a way to manipulate the body, to be at the service of the sport. So they have a task in front of them. Mm-hmm. If they're going to do their job, which is that in a way, in a way that honors the person's identity, they have to take some extra steps.
Yeah.
To somehow affirm what needs to be affirmed, or what does that need to look like? You are a strength and conditioning coach. Yeah. So how do you do, because when you're looking at someone, you're working with someone, it's like, yeah, you actually do need to do this or do that, and that needs to change
aid your
this.
performance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The line I use, and I think I use the example of I want to lose 10 pounds.
Yep.
Okay, well, why? Like I just said, our bodies are good as they are.
Yeah.
So this is the line I use. You are not something to fix. You are someone to honor. And it takes away that my body is just something
Yep.
that I can manipulate
Ah.
to I'm a body soul union.
Ah.
Losing 10 pounds or getting stronger for my sport, is that if that's going to aid my whole person, then that's good. But it's personified in a certain sense. And the result of I need to fix something is fear and anxiety and giving up on fad diets or giving up on workouts. Whereas when we have the freedom and the peace of like, no, I'm good and my body is good and sacred and I want to work towards something because for the goodness of my sport or a greater call or just health in general, because it is a vessel, then that's peace and commitment. And so there's just that distinction.
Right. My body is not a thing apart from me. My body is me.
Yeah.
And so I want to honor it as me rather than as a thing apart from me. Wow. Man, this is helpful for me. This is great. I'm not even trying to get in shape. Which I probably should. So
I can train you.
Yeah, please train me. So we got a lot more to talk about, but we don't have time for all of it. Body image, identity. How about, I mean, this is maybe totally inappropriate in modernity, but men and women, same or different? as it bears upon sport.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a, oof, I don't even know if I want to, I'll ask the question. You can get fried for answering it, but no, I'm just kidding. I won't leave you hanging.
I'll take it. Bring it.
I'm not even worried about getting fired because I finished my time anyway. So
that's great. Let's go for it then. I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's serious. This is serious stuff. But
yeah,
what do we need to hold? What's the scoop here?
Well, it's super interesting. The 50th anniversary of Title IX right around the corner.
Yep.
Which has been huge for pushing women's sports, but it's also been huge for saying women are better than men.
Okay.
We're equal to men, but we're different. It's a scandalous thing to say, unfortunately, but we're equal but different. And I liken it to this. Why did God create two genders, right? One, it all comes back to in our man, woman, child, we are mirroring God, Son, Holy Spirit in a very basic way to put it. But the physical difference reflects kind of like an interior difference as well. So our bodies reveal, our bodies speak a language, which is kind of, fluff. It's hard language to understand, but let me explain. So very clearly, men and women are different physically. It's just biology, right? But if you look at how men play basketball versus women play basketball, it's different. And I think one's not better than the other, but I think that reveals the natural, just different dispositions of men and women. So men's bodies are more external, right? When we think about the sexual act, they're more external. Men offer themselves to the woman. So the height of masculinity, if we are reading our bodies, is actually sacrifice. The male sacrifices himself for his bride, right? This is why Jesus had to be a man. He exercised his sacrifice. But when we look at men playing basketball, it's more aggressive. There's a lot more individual play. There's a lot more driving to the hoop and dunking the ball. There's just this level of like higher intensity, obviously higher, physiological strength, but this willingness to sacrifice, Women, on the other hand, like in the sexual act, and this is kind of what distinguishes the genders, right? We receive and then we bear forth life. And so the height of femininity is receptivity. And if you look at how women play basketball, it's just naturally more team-oriented. They say it's a prettier, more graceful game. Mm-hmm. There's just more passing. Mm-hmm. And that says something that's just inherently different about the woman. Not better, not worse, just different. Mm-hmm. And so, while it's a scandal to say, like, we're different, like, that's how we're created. And both have their beauty and their strength. And both can be intense, but we have our kind of natural proclivity, if you will, and ways to live that out. Mm-hmm.
Well, I find this even apart from sport, but as it bears upon sport, women just aware of each other, mm-hmm. And sort of just intuiting each other and in relation with each other, and so it is this more beautiful, cohesive reality, And whereas guys are like oblivious to each other, but like, give me the ball so I can do something with it,
Yeah.
or whatever. That's great. So how does this play out then, as far as how women would train, or how women would understand themselves in sport, or how men should understand themselves in sport, or as women are trying to get to a place of equal representation, or equal opportunity, because we belong together, but like, they should be pursuing something that's not male, or they should be, or like, what are they supposed to do? They're not supposed to be like men?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, essentially,
Yeah.
however, equal, right? I think it's some of the movements towards equality in sport are good,
Yeah.
but it's not to outcompete men. It's not to be like men. It's not to prove that you're better than men. It's just to be the fullness of woman in the particular expression of sport, And it's historically, right, sport has been male dominant. So it's been interesting as women have kind of had male idols, and then now we're kind of in the generations where women have other women to look up to, other female athletes that they can grow up idolizing and mirroring. And for better or for worse, I think there are some really good examples out there where women can see that you can be intense, you can be fierce, but you never want to reject your natural kind of tender, open side that you have as well.
So on this, you're listing out some attributes as we're coming to the end of our conversation.
Yeah.
What are those sort of basic or key themes that you are trying to leave with women to empower them to be fierce woman athlete?
Yeah. It's interesting, and whether our listeners know Mary, our Blessed Mother, or not, I would suggest, we've talked a lot about being daughters of God, I would suggest you get to know her. And I love her as the model because she's the fiercest woman that ever lived. I mean, she's often pictured barefoot crushing the head of Satan, like crushing a serpent. She's totally tough, totally BA, whether I can say that or not, I just did. But she's also the most tender and loving and receptive and open woman that ever lived. And I think the height of that is seen at the foot of the cross. I mean, she earlier said yes to doing something crazy for God, having Jesus. But at the foot of the cross, she's watching her son die, be tortured, die, and she's standing there as a source of strength. Like, only a woman would have that strength. But amidst the height of her suffering, she has the ability to think of other because she's asked to become our mother. And that's that natural woman in the middle of your game when you're like dead tired, like you have the ability to like look at your teammate who's dead tired too and just have this heart for others, this heart to encourage. And so, yeah, women, I would really encourage you to just get to know her, but to also give yourself permission to be great and to be competitive, but to not lose sight of other. And then if I may, for men, be careful of a spirit of dominance. There's I think the opposite of this call to sacrifice, which we see in Christ laying down himself, body and soul on the cross. Like, that's your model, guys. Go for it. We see this desire to beat, to conquer, to dominate. And you see that against their own teammates, but you also see that with men towards women. And so to again shift that to something that's more giving and laying down of one's life for your brothers on your team, but also for women in your life, and Christ being your perfect model, I think is important.
Yeah. There's a big difference between domination and exercising dominion. Now, there's kind of nuances in it, but like someone who's exercising dominion understands that they are been given a power and an entrustment, and they do it in a way that's a good steward of that reality, whereas a dominator just goes and destroys. Just I can do whatever I want. So that is an important thing for a man. Well, Samantha, I hope that many people will make use of your gift that you are presently offering through Fierce Athlete, and I'm so grateful for our time together, for being here at the university for the conference, but also to sit down here and to have a meaningful conversation about sport, identity, body image, women and men, and various other things. So thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, Father.
God bless.
Thanks.